right, students, you may sit down. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, friends, family, guests. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It's really great to see everybody here in this beautiful theater that we've been allowed to use. My name is Scott Gould. I am the Chair and Program Director in the Department of Physician Assistant Studies here at the School of Nursing and Physician Assistant Studies. It's my honor and privilege to kick things off today as we celebrate the great accomplishments of these fine students here. And don't worry, I want to be brief. We have a full agenda, and we have a lot of exciting things to get to today. But before I relinquish the podium, I do just have one thought to put forth to everybody today. Is, as you know, among many things, today is a celebration of the students transitioning from student to provider to professional. And the Oxford Dictionary defines professional as a person engaged in a specific activity, especially a sport or branch of the performing arts, as a main paid occupation rather than a pastime. Now, it certainly will be nice to be paid, right? I'm sure. But I want to also borrow from another definition from author Stephen Pressfield in his book, Turning Pro. In that book, he discusses the idea of going from amateur to pro. And in this book, he expounds broadly on these meanings, but I think that the definition serves well for us here today in the practice in the art and science of medicine. And so Pressfield says that the professional is prepared. The professional does not hesitate to ask for help. The professional accepts no excuses. And the professional shows up every day. And so I challenge all of you, as you move forward in your practicing and you're at work, is to not fall into the daily status quo, not to be merely a paid professional, but to turn pro. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker. And I'd like to introduce Dr. Charlie Riordan, Hofstra's Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. The Provost is the university's Chief Academic Officer and second to the President of the university. In this role, Dr. Riordan is responsible for university's academic programs, faculty, school, colleges, and libraries, the Hofstra Museum, the Saltzman Community Center, as well as institutional research. Before joining Hofstra, Dr. Riordan served a decade at the University of Delaware's Vice President of Research, Scholarship, and Innovation. He was a member of UD's faculty since 1997 and served as the chair of the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry and vice provost for graduate and professional education. Throughout his career, Riordan has fostered efforts to recruit, retain, and mentor faculty from underrepresented groups while creating a climate of belonging. Dr. Riordan is also an internationally known chemist whose research has been supported primarily by the National Science Foundation and the National Institutes of Health. In 2022, he received the University of Delaware's Medal of Distinction for his contributions to society and to the university. He earned his bachelor's degree at the College of Holy Cross, his PhD at the Texas A&M University, and was a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Chicago. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Charles Riordan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Scott, for that introduction, and thanks to all of our faculty here this afternoon for leading, challenging, and inspiring each of our graduating students to be the best versions of themselves. So if you look at the program, you'll quickly appreciate that I am not President Poser. President Poser, Susan Poser, who's led the university for the past year and a half, unfortunately had a conflict that does not allow her to be with us today. But on behalf of President Poser and myself, a warm welcome to the friends, family, and physician assistant students here this afternoon. I'm so pleased to join you for this white coat ceremony. Today is a culmination of years of hard work and a testament to your skills and to your perseverance. Receiving your white coat is a symbolic rite of passage when you affirm your commitment to this profession and the patients whom you will serve. Today, we also celebrate your success as a student and your achievements in the physician assistant program. Even though when you walk across the stage at commencement tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., David Mack Center, it will feel like an ending, we know that it is really just a beginning, as Scott mentioned. It's the beginning of a lifetime of service and a commitment to lifelong learning. As a physician assistant, you must keep up with the advances in science and healthcare and understand the best practices of patient care. You must continue to understand, to empathize, and as your oath affirms, work with other members of your healthcare team, and it is indeed a team sport. You each must be committed to the concept of patient first in all matters. Thanks to your Hofstra education, in partnership with our great healthcare professional partners at Northwell Health, we're confident that each of you is ready. You're joining a respected and noble profession at a time when compassionate and high-quality healthcare is needed now more than ever. During your education here and in your clinical rotations, you saw what the COVID pandemic did to our healthcare system and what it demanded of our healthcare workers. You are joining the profession at a time when the need is great. When many are stepping back, understandably stepping back, you are leaning in. You will be leaders in the field, and thanks to your education here with our faculty and at Northwell, you are prepared for whatever you will face in the next year and in the decades to come. I do understand that you still have one or two hurdles: the national certification exam and licensing, sorry to be the downer, in front of you. I hope that you will take this opportunity nonetheless to rest while preparing for your professional life and to reflect on all that you have accomplished and consider with gratitude all of those who helped you get to this day. You have studied and worked hard. You have applied yourself, and now is the time to celebrate this singular achievement. We're looking forward to seeing you cross the stage tomorrow night. Can you tell I'm excited about that? Enjoy the next few days, and on behalf of President Susan Poser and the leadership at Hofstra University, I congratulate you and wish you the best for your future endeavors. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Riordan, for taking the time and sharing this event with us and your thoughtful words. I'd like to now introduce our next speaker. It's my pleasure to invite up the next speaker as someone who's no stranger to your seat. In fact, when I found out that he was going to come and speak with us today, I had to scrap some of what I wanted to say. I was going to proud boastly how I was in your chair before you, and he beat me to it, unfortunately. And I'll let him tell you that. So for now, I would like to introduce Northwell Health Senior Vice President of Strategic Business Initiatives, NPA, Mr. Adam Bohl.
Thank you, Scott, and good afternoon to all the esteemed faculty, administration, family, friends, and to the graduates, most importantly, congratulations. It is a great honor and a privilege for me to stand here before you and deliver the keynote speech at your white coat ceremony. As Scott stole the news, I was sitting in your seat a mere 16 years ago, graduating from Hofstra's PA program when it was a little bit smaller over in Monroe Hall. And as a graduating PA student and soon-to-be PA, I was thinking about what you may be thinking about today, which is putting on your white coat for the first time, arguably stepping foot into wherever it is you may work for the first time, and all the anxiety that comes along with that. Looking back on that moment today, being a leader at Northwell Health, with our close partnership and integration with Hofstra University, makes this an even more special day for me today. It's an opportunity today for you to reflect. And reflection is a powerful tool. I think it was mentioned already by the Provost. You should think about everything that you accomplished to get you here today. Each of you has your own story. Each of you persevered in different ways to end up where you are today. You've jumped through different hoops, but all of you focused on the same goal, and that was getting to graduation tomorrow at 7 p.m. And becoming a physician assistant. Today is all about you achieving that goal. Taking a moment, or perhaps two, to think about what got you here, your personal journey, the tough times, the easy times, and most importantly, as was mentioned, those special people that made this journey possible for you. And besides thinking about them, mention it to them after today's ceremony. We all lead busy, fast-paced New York lives. And sometimes we don't take enough time to reflect, to cherish moments, or to let those around us know how they've helped us along a journey or a path. Now that graduation is upon you, you are entering one of the most spectacular and rewarding professional fields that there is, which is the field of medicine. You're entering the field of healthcare at a pivotal time, and it truly is. That's been said in many speeches and many graduations, but I think arguably it's probably one of the most pivotal times in healthcare and in medicine. We're emerging from a pandemic of epic proportions that hopefully none of us in this room have to experience or live through again. The past 3 years, living through COVID, experiencing COVID in healthcare, in medicine, it's taught us how crucial health, public health, medicine is to our society as a whole, and just how fragile our world is and how important the profession of medicine is to the functioning of the world. You will be challenged at times throughout your career. You'll be rewarded at times, and you'll be disappointed at times. Not all things in medicine are happy. Always remain grounded. Remember why you chose this profession. Remember why you chose to become a provider and what you can do to contribute to it. No matter what field you choose to practice in tomorrow or 5 years from now, you'll be touching a patient's life every day. Becoming a PA, practicing in the medical field, comes with privilege. And it's the privilege to be part of another human being's most personal moment. Moments of joy, moments of heartbreak, and moments of confusion and fright. You will personally have the ability to affect these moments every day, every interaction you have with your future patients. As the provider, patient and family interactions will and can almost appear transactional to you in your day. They're part of your everyday routine and will be for many years to come. Don't let this be the case for you. Small moments and short minutes during your day are sometimes monumental moments and sometimes life-changing moments in your patients' lives. Take the extra moment. Provide that extra bit of comfort. Enter every conversation with just an extra bit of care and preparation. Recognizing and embracing the emotional and human component of practicing medicine is not the part that you were taught in school, but arguably may matter most to those that you treat. Your ability to relate to your patients, their loved ones and caregivers too, will leave lasting impressions. People remember those moments. Make those tough moments just a little bit easier and provide yourself with some gratification that no scientific treatment you provide will. Lastly, your journey is not over. In fact, as it was said, it's just beginning. Medicine is an incredible team sport. You will be surrounded and have the opportunity to work with professionals across many disciplines that'll influence you. They will teach you. They will inspire you, and they will guide you. I encourage you to listen, have those conversations. Take note. Not only will you become a better physician assistant by doing so, but you'll define the next steps on your journey. I could have never imagined doing what I do today when I was sitting in your seat over in Monroe, graduating PA school. I was focused on my first day of work, doing the right thing, and definitely not looking like the new guy. By being exposed to others, developing relationships, exploring the many facets that there are to healthcare, I ended up where I am today. Each of you will build your individual journey. You will carve your own path, and you'll excel at whatever it is that you choose to do every day and in your future. The opportunities and possibilities are endless. The upside to the complex nature of healthcare is the opportunity that it'll provide you. It'll be the opportunity to continue to grow, to learn, to take on new opportunities, and to be challenged in new ways every day, every month, and every year to come. The excitement is not over for you. It's just beginning. Seize every moment that you can. Take every opportunity, and do not be afraid to take chances, safe chances. There will be those that believe in you and take the chance in you. Grab onto that chance and see where it takes you. Once again, congratulations on your graduation. Enjoy the moment and moments to come, and best of luck on your journey wherever it may take you.
Thank you, Adam. Words to heed, indeed. So next, I would like to introduce the class of 2022 class representative, Vanessa Phillips.
Thank you, Dr. Gold. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanessa Phillips, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the white coat ceremony for the Hofstra Northwell Graduate School of Physician Assistant Studies class of 2022. Before I begin to speak about the graduates, faculty, and program that we're all here to celebrate today, I would like to acknowledge the extensive roads that led us to graduate from such a highly regarded PA program. We each excelled in our undergraduate universities, educated ourselves about and shadowed within our PA profession, and edited our personal statements enough to where we could probably still recite them from memory. I say this to emphasize that although we have undoubtedly worked the hardest these past couple of years to finally get these coats, we have truly been working our entire lives to be seated in these seats today. A number of people will say that the most difficult part of PA school is actually getting into a program. And so the achievements we're here to acknowledge really date back to the day where we received our acceptance letters. We started off this journey feeling excited, eager, and ready to take on the challenges that lie ahead of us. And after all, we had finally made it to the starting line of the end of our extensive education, and that was something to be proud of. Now, I can't speak for the rest of my classmates, but the pride that I held in myself was completely destroyed by the end of first semester. We had been aware of how rigorous PA school curriculum was, but it seemed like there were simply not enough hours in the day to prepare for the amount of exams, practicals at CLI, and quizzes on our schedule. Even during clinical year, which most of us would say was much more enjoyable than the year prior, the extensive commutes, the long hours on our feet, and the need to be on our game 24/7 was exhausting. It had become apparent to us that we were going to have to sacrifice our time with friends and family, our tolerance to caffeine, and maybe even our sanity from time to time. And while all of this may have turned out to be true on some level, I know one thing for absolute sure, and that is that PA school could have been much worse. But it wasn't for a few key reasons. The first reason is our family and friends. It is likely that you all witnessed us at our lowest points throughout the past 2.5 years. And not only did you endure those difficult times with us, but you got us through them. You listened to us express our frustrations, comforted us when we were overwhelmed, and encouraged us to keep going. But above all else, when there were times that as students we weren't sure if we were going to make it through to this white coat ceremony, you never doubted us for a second. We love you all and want to acknowledge that we wouldn't have made it to this point without you. The second reason is the Hofstra PA faculty who have become our family. As early as the first day that we walked into class, it was clear how exceptional this group was. That's because while every other PA program held their orientations via online platforms, we were able to physically go to class on campus. Our amazing faculty and administration had orchestrated a way for us to learn in person alongside our peers while simultaneously abiding by the rules and regulations that were in place during such an unprecedented time. This showed us how much they cared about our mental well-being and academic success before they even knew us. And on that very first day, they made a promise to us. They assured us that if we looked to our left and to our right, that the people we were seated next to would be seated with us at graduation. I'd like to highlight a few of many things that allowed them to keep such an important promise. They put the effort into our schedule to ensure we didn't have too many exams in 1 week or too many hours of class in one day. They shared their invaluable knowledge and experience with us so that we would be well prepared for our exams and later our clinical rotations. They took time to create clinical rotation schedules that exposed us to different populations and environments so that we would gain a well-rounded experience. And last, but certainly not least, they always kept their doors open, so they were able to support us and provide guidance on our best days, our worst days, and every day in between. Thank you to each and every one of you for taking such good care of us. I know for certain there's no other group out there like you, and we are all proud to now call you our colleagues. And the final reason, the reason we're all here today, the members of the Hofstra PA class of 2022. This portion of my speech took me the longest to write, and I think that's because I find it hard to articulate how I feel about the special people sitting in front of me. People assured us numerous times that the only ones who would understand what it would be like to go through PA school would be our classmates. And so I was afraid that meant that I would have to face challenging and intimidating circumstances with people who were complete strangers to me. But as it turned out, we became anything but strangers to one another, especially after we collectively crashed and burned on our neurophysiology exam. It still hurts a little bit. So after that traumatic experience, we ended up surviving long class days together, shared lunches, played kickball games out on the quad, had dance parties between lecture, and so much more. We even developed some of the same triggers, like seeing a red circle, or having to hear the words, "Students, you have 2 minutes left in your encounter." But what I found most unique about this cohort is that there wasn't an ounce of competition amongst us. And that's because no matter how different we were from one another, we had the same goals: to become confident PAs, to maintain the highly respected reputation of the Hofstra PA program, and to make our loved ones proud. What my peers have taught me is that your PA class is like your family. You can't choose them, but you take care of and only want success for one another. I'm so lucky that the PA school family I had no power in choosing turned out to be the most outgoing, caring, intelligent, and capable group of people. And apparently I'm not the only person who thinks so, because what do I know? The members of this cohort have been recognized for our adaptability and competency both in the classroom and out on our rotations. And these are two environments that are not easy to succeed in. I believe we deserve that acknowledgement because throughout the past 28 months, we have exhausted ourselves both mentally and physically to be ready to assume the privilege of caring for patients. And after all of that hard work and crying and lack of sleep, I can confidently say that I would trust my family members in the hands of each and every one of you. Thank you all for being such an important part of this amazing class and for having me as your president. Even though I ran unopposed, so you didn't necessarily have a choice. It is now that we all find ourselves in a somewhat full circle moment. Most of us will take our certification exams in the next month, and we'll go on to start our careers as certified PAs this spring. As we approach our start dates within our respective specialties, we will likely be experiencing that same excitement, eagerness, and readiness that we had felt on the first day of PA school. I know that just as we were up for the challenge of becoming PAs, we will be up for the challenge of providing compassionate and quality care. I want to leave you all with a few thoughts as we start this new chapter in our lives. First, constantly exercise your curiosity. It is through asking questions that we expand our own knowledge as well as make advancements in medicine. Next, advocate for both yourself as a clinician and the PA profession as a whole. Be the first PA to ever perform a procedure. Remain active members in your state and national PA organizations, and always educate others on the vital role that we play in the healthcare field. And lastly, always remember how incredibly hard you have worked to be afforded the opportunity to care for your future patients. Be sure not to take that responsibility lightly, as every history and physical exam you perform, every diagnosis you make, and every treatment plan you put in place will change the course of your patient's care. Today, we're graduating from one of the most highly regarded PA programs in the country. You should all be incredibly proud of yourselves in this much anticipated moment. I'm excited to see the positive impact we will have on the clinical teams we join, on the lives of our future patients, and on the field of medicine as a whole. Congratulations to the Hofstra Northwell PA class of 2022. We finally made it.
Thank you, Vanessa. So next, I would like to introduce two of our faculty members, Professor Roberts and Professor Zamet, to help kick off some awards for us.
Okay, so the award for academic excellence is given to a student who performed at the highest level during the rigorous didactic year. This student not only achieved a 4.0 at the end of 3 incredibly difficult semesters, but was also a dynamic member of her class and in the community. She always had a smile or an encouraging word for her peers and was a source of positivity during stressful times. She represented our program at the state and national level at Medical Jeopardy and was also an active member of SAPA.
We are extremely proud to present this year's Academic Excellence Award to Megan Yeager.
Where are they?
I would now like to invite Professor Tom Gallo to present the next award.
All right. Can you hear me? I like to ask that question because it's kind of important, right? So this is for the Clinical Year Award for the class of 2022. The Clinical Year Award is bestowed upon a student who consistently demonstrated overall excellence during the clinical year. Makes sense, right? And we have, 63 amazing, outstanding clinical students. But not everybody can get this award. You have to come tomorrow at 7 o'clock. This award goes to the individual with the highest clinical year GPA. We also look beyond the numbers. We take into account eagerness to learn, proficiency in diagnostic procedures, critical thinking skills, performance in callback day activities, blah, blah, blah. All kinds of stuff. But we also consider preceptor evaluations. And as most of you know, when a student completes a clinical rotation or a clerkship, they must be evaluated and graded by their preceptor. There are some preceptors here. They get to do that very frequently. And unfortunately, when the preceptor does this evaluation, though, they don't always write comments. They just check off the boxes and they give them a number, and we just get a numerical number. But that wasn't the case with this particular student. This student had preceptors that wrote things like, blank is an excellent student. We're going to keep it in suspense for a little bit. The student was motivated, always willing to learn new procedures and concepts. It was a great pleasure working with the student. The student was an excellent student at this location. She demonstrated, he demonstrated, they demonstrated excellent standards. Demonstrated the excellent standards Hofstra sets for its students, and I have no doubt that this student will contribute greatly to the PA profession. These are really great words, right? This student was a pleasure to have on rotation, has a good fundamental knowledge base and technical surgical skills improved throughout the rotation, maintained a professional and respectful demeanor towards everyone, interacted with all sorts of great and wonderful things from rotation after rotation. And even said things like, overall, this student was an excellent student who was well received by the staff. Those that he, she, they worked with spoke highly of he, her, him, them, that person, and the feeling that they will continue to develop and successfully transition to be an excellent clinician, on and on and on. And finally, we got one from an SICU, and they said something like this: Sophia is going to be an exemplary PA. We are hoping she chooses to join our team upon graduation. Sophia is from a line of clinicians, both parents, sister, and so on, and we're extremely proud to present this year's clinical award to a student who not only had all these wonderful things said about her, I could say her now, right? And but had a perfect clinical year GPA of 4.0, so she had it all. We congratulate Sophia Major. Where's the award, by the way? Where's the award? Get over here. Here we go. I would now like to call up Dr. Pontrelli and Lascalzo for the next presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so this next award is granted to an individual who excelled throughout the research semester. That's us. From day one, this student demonstrated motivation, passion, and enthusiasm. During the very stressful data collection module, I warned you, this individual was the go-to for locating large data sets.
The attention to detail and command of material brought to each module was evident as we worked with this student throughout the entire semester. We continued to be extremely impressed with her commitment to the application of evidence-based medicine throughout the final project. We are lucky to call this individual a colleague and know she will make a significant contribution as a PA in the field of research. And the Excellence in Research Award goes to Nikki Vinokur. Yay.
And next, to present the Leadership Award, Dr. Heuser.
All right. Full disclosure, because I know everybody on the stage knows it, and here, the neurophysiology was because of me. So let's be honest. I know. This is the first time I wasn't booed off stage, so it's okay. But they know, and I tell them this all the time, I challenge them because you are the best, and we will be the best, and we always know that. So, without further ado, I will be presenting the Leadership Award. The Leadership Award is given to a student who goes above and beyond for the class, program, and profession, in addition to exhibiting strong leadership skills. This individual takes initiative, is always willing to help, and guide people to Dr. Heuser's office after an exam, and does it all with a smile on her face. This individual is everything we are looking for in a PA student. Hardworking, motivated, passionate, and meets challenges head on. I am honored and extremely proud to introduce this year's recipient, your class president, Vanessa Phillips. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I wasn't introduced, but you guys know who I am. So once again, everyone calls me LaPlatte because my last name is LaPlatinier, and they can't ever get it right, so they call me Professor LaPlatte. I will be presenting the Overall Excellence Award for the class of 2022. This is a very prestigious award which looks at every aspect of everything that student has done. It involves their clinical performance, their academic performance, but it involves more than that. They need to be involved in leadership, community service, helping others, working with underserved populations as part of their core belief. And this award is really an award of everything that you've done as a student. Now, this student began working here at Hofstra as a dual degree student in 2017. This has been here for quite a long time. And very quickly, I was introduced to her and met with her, and she's always involved in every aspect of everything that we do here in the program. She's always the one that raises her hands to do things. She's always helping other students that are struggling. She's even working with some of the undergraduate students that, not the undergraduate, but the ones in the didactic program, and helping them and tutoring them. And at one point, we were short a Jeopardy student, and we needed someone to volunteer, and no one wanted to do Jeopardy on this whole entire program. So I'm like, can someone please do Jeopardy? And of course, she raised her hand. So I'm really proud of this person, and she'll be doing the Critical Care Fellowship at North Shore, so I'm very happy that she's been doing that. So this Excellence Award goes to Colleen Petrecci. The next presenter will be Professor Banahan.
Hello, everyone. I usually tear up every year. And I told myself I wasn't going to tear up this year until I heard Vanessa's speech, so that pretty much ended that. Well done, Vanessa. So I am here to present the Shining Star Award. This Shining Star Award goes to an individual who has shown extraordinary promise in becoming a PA and has shown significant improvement over the course of their studies. This year's recipient has done just that. She exemplifies every aspect of what a PA should be: a caring, compassionate healthcare provider who is dedicated to patient care and serving the community. Academically, she has grown into a fine student and has impressed all of us with her perseverance and resiliency. I've been privileged to get to know her very well, as she was one of my advisees, and I'm honored to present this year's Shining Star Award to Samantha Fisher. And now I'd like to introduce Professor Shannon McCoy and Professor Jennifer Duperval to present the Preceptor of the Year Award.
The Preceptor of the Year Award is determined by the clinical year students to honor a preceptor who has consistently been an influential clinical educator. This year's award recipient has demonstrated a commitment to excellence in the clinical education of Hofstra PA students. She has been recognized by the students for her exceptional teaching, mentoring, and leadership. As most of you know, when a student completes a clinical rotation, they must evaluate the clinical site and their preceptor. Often, when the student completes this evaluation, they do not always leave comments. That was not the case for this preceptor. Today, I will share with you some of the comments written by the students. Not only did I learn so much during my family medicine rotation, but I felt like I was a part of her team and not just a student. She took time out of her day to teach me, and I know she genuinely cares about her students. She built my confidence, and I know I will take what I've learned from her and implement it into my future career. She was the best and deserves to be honored for it.
During our time together, she challenged and pushed me to become a better student and future provider. She helped me feel more confident taking histories and performing procedures. She's personable, giving me pants tips and career advice. Even after my rotation ended, she stayed connected and made sure I was on track, doing well on my other rotations. Although I had some great experiences throughout the entire year, my rotation with this preceptor stands out. I thoroughly enjoyed going to my rotation every day and felt included in the team while I was there. She taught me important pearls about medicine and treating patients, but she also taught invaluable lessons regarding the nuances of becoming a certified PA and how to promote the PA profession. She encompasses the best qualities of a provider, and it is reflected in how her patients constantly rave about her during visits. More importantly, She instills confidence in her students. She motivates them to gain as much knowledge and skill as possible throughout their rotation. After my clerkship, I found myself thinking about my experiences with her and implementing them in the rotations following. There is no other way to put it. She is simply amazing and deserves this award. The 2022 Clinical Preceptor of the Year recipient is PA Shavana Chiatar. Let's recognize some more individuals. Is that okay? All right. The Pi Alpha National Honor Society was organized by the PA Education Association for the promotion and recognition of significant academic achievement, leadership, research, community and professional service, and the encouragement of a high standard of character and conduct among PA's students and graduates. At this time, I would like to ask our 2022 inductees to please stand. These 9 individuals that stand before you were carefully selected by the chapter council. Not only have they achieved academic excellence defined by the society as having a cumulative grade point average of 3.5 or greater, but they truly embody the Pi Alpha motto of scholarship, service, and leadership. Please join me again, in recognizing this outstanding achievement with a round of applause as we welcome our newest members to the Pi Alpha National Honor Society. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. So now the students have composed a video for us to watch. And so I will invite our guests, if they want to move and be able to see, we'll step to the side, and we'll cue up the video. Very nice. Don't worry, we screened it ahead of time for all viewers. Okay, students, prepare for white coat presentations.
Let's give them a round of applause as they make their way around. Congratulations, class of 2022. Are you all ready to graduate? A yes, B no. All right. Are we ready? George Ambrosini. Julia Barocca. Lindsay Bedard. Serena Jean Berger. Victoria Ruth Brocious. Christina Cardinal. Katrina Sarasani. Jenny Chen. Charlotte Chowinski. Lauren Kylie Call. Lauren Kalina. Gabriella D'Alessandro. Victoria Daly. David Dean. Ryan Deaconette. Andrew Farina. Samantha Fisher Greenberg. Oksana Fordeskova. Jamie Freitag. Rana Ismail. Paige Suzanne Karras. Yanni Kefalis. Taylor Kennedy. Alyssa Danielle Kerr. Carolyn Kiernan. Jamie Kim. Irvin Lin. Ivana Lopez. Julia Macchiarulo. Sophia Major. Julia Mann. Noor Fayez Marji. Jamie McGovern. Angie Morales. Daniel Morgan. Michael Morgan. Emily Nitzberg. Stephanie Ogman. Kira Oliver. Hemanji Patel. Risha Patel. Colleen Petreri. Vanessa Jean Phillips. Amanda J. Rainey. Alex Roche. Hanya Rokni. Rachel Sakai. Erin Sanders. Nicole Sierra. Megan Shellock. Ryan Sheridan. Hunter Slavin. Lee Reynolds Spar. Danielle Sugar. Serena Sunik Romano. Lauren Elizabeth Tatro. Lindsay Trimarchi. Amy Uthrop. Dennis Van Dunk. Michael Varilli. Nikki Vinokur. Lauren Hunter Weinstein. Megan Elizabeth Yeager.
How about that class of 22, huh? Excellent. Great job, everybody. Just to close out for us today, some quick housekeeping. Afterward, we'd like to invite all the graduates up to the stage to take a few pictures. And I also just want to take a moment to acknowledge, everyone that makes this happen, right? When they say it takes a village, they're not joking. So, of course, all of the faculty, friends, and distinguished guests of the program, the university, and Northwell. Alan and his great team for helping set up and making the theater happen for us today. And of course, none of this would happen if it wasn't for Marie. Yes. All right, and I just want to close out today just by simply saying congratulations, everyone. Enjoy, cherish this, you've earned it. All right. Oh, wait. One more thing. Who's coming up? Professor Zamet is going to do the oath for us.
Okay, class of 22, please rise. And repeat after me. I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor.
It's a good thing I was reminded of that. I would have sent you out into the world without that, huh? You would have done whatever you wanted to do. All right, quick change of plans as PAs were adaptable. We're going to take the picture outside, right? It's a nice day, so we'll go outside, okay? And with that, we'll conclude today's ceremony. Thank you, everyone.